Move on. A brand new breakfast show begins on talkSPORT on Monday with broadcasting legend Jeff Stelling at the helm.
Well, the man himself joins us now. Hello to you, Jeff. Welcome to the Talk family and the early mornings. How are you feeling about the big start on Monday?
Oh, thank you very much, morning. Yeah, look, I didn't know that 6 in the morning existed, really. That's something I've just read about. So I'm a little bit concerned, but... look, actually, I've done early mornings before many years ago when I was working on Sky News Sports. So I know what it's like to have to get up at 4:30 in the morning and, see the same people every day on your way into work, the same postman, the same milkman. And it's almost like being part of a club, isn't it, as you guys know?
Yeah, absolutely. And as Sarah says, it is one big family here. talkSPORT is the home of sport. That must be very exciting for you to join us in the building.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And, it's exciting for me because I had 30 years at Sky Sports. So stepping out of that sort of cocoon, if you like, into the almost unknown anyway. I'm obviously a listener, I've listened to talkSPORT for years and years. And I've presented shows on it once or twice in the past. But to step out of that cocoon for 30 years into... something very different is really, really exciting, especially at my age, because my kids say it's time to retire. They keep, they keep sending me flyers for the local care homes and stair lifts and things. And I've got to try and show them there's still some life in the old dog yet. So this is a fantastic opportunity.
You talked about leaving that cocoon at Sky, and you spent 30 years there, the face of Soccer Saturday. Jeff, after all that time, what was it like to step away and that first Saturday when you were actually watching from afar rather than being in the midst of all of that hubbub in the studio?
Well, it was different, but in truth, not for any real reason. I didn't watch the show. I've hardly watched the show since then. But that's because I've been able to go and see some live football. So that first Saturday, for instance, I was at the Hive, the home of Barnet Football Club, watching Barnet against Hartlepool in the National League, because it's something I haven't been able to do for 30 years on a Saturday. So that was absolutely fantastic to be, at the games, which in the past I've just been talking about. And so it's a real plus side. So it's great for me as well now. I'm only working Monday and Tuesday mornings at talkSPORT, so I can still do that on weekends. So I get the best of all worlds.
Well, you really do. Some big games this weekend as well. So you're going to have a bumper-filled show on Monday, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. And, obviously, we've got Newcastle, Manchester United and Manchester City against Spurs. And the draw for Euro 2024, we'll see if England get a favourable draw or not. And a couple of my old mates are going to be on the show, alongside myself and Ali. Phil Thompson's going to be joining us, ex-England captain, so he can talk about England. Tim Sherwood's going to join us as well, ex-Spurs player and, of course, manager as well. He can talk about their victory at Manchester City on Sunday. Sorry, boys, maybe not a victory, but he can talk about the game anyway. So we'll have a lot of fun, because I think that what talkSPORT has always done is put a smile on people's faces. And, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock on a December, January, February morning, that's exactly what you need to do.
I don't know if I'm going to put a smile on your face when I ask you about this now, but VAR back in the headlines this week yet again. Jeff, Newcastle at PSG, also potentially could be used to rule on corners and kicks. What do you make of that? Because I know it's one of your pet subjects.
Yeah, look, VAR, yeah, we all thought it would be, the panacea for all of football's wrongs. And now we talk about referees' decisions more than we ever did, And those decisions that it was meant to put right, those errors that it was meant to put right, well, that hasn't worked at all, because referees are under the microscope, VAR officials are under the microscope, and consequently, we're talking about it more than ever. It's more controversial than ever before. And the referees and the VARs have got enough to get right without starting to have to make decisions about second yellow cards and that sort of thing, And if you want to add to that, they're talking about introducing sin bins. Referees have got enough on their hands. They don't need anything more. They're getting it wrong often enough without giving them more opportunities to get it wrong.
And you mentioned earlier about the kids trying to retire you. Well, the counterclaim to that is surely you have the experience to draw on so that you can have a proper analysis.
Yeah, well, that's what I always tell them. It's nice to be able to dive back into, my memories of things that happened 30, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, when I was, starting at Sky Sports. I can remember the first weekend of the Premier League. And of course, a lot of people don't think football existed before the Premier League, but I remember it before the Premier League as well. So, yeah, I like the idea of drawing on my experience, using a bit of wisdom.
It's not just wisdom.
It doesn't always show it.
It's several volumes of encyclopedias, I think, in that brain of yours, Jeff, isn't it? And we are looking forward to hearing all of it on TalkSport from Monday morning.
Yes, indeed. Very good to talk to you, Jeff. Thank you very much
guys.
indeed. Also very pleased to see.
Best of luck.
Yes, best of luck. I'm very pleased to see him supporting Prostate Cancer UK as well. A cause very close to my heart.